Hi, Andy Rray here, and in this week's episode of my vlog, I've created myself a load of work! Hi, Andy here, and welcome back to another episode of my vlog where I'm talking about me starting a career in music and making money off music. So I've had another good week, very productive. To recap, I've set a release date for some music for Friday the 25th of September, and I told you all about that in last week's episode, and I had some lovely comments from people on that, especially from Mike and Alex, who had mentioned, who are helping me out with the various books and websites and courses that they've written. Thanks for the comments, guys. I really appreciate it. Now, with any release, there is a considerable amount of work, and I know this because I've worked with artists and see what they've been through, and I've also taught music business to various students, and we explore the timeline and what it takes. Not only do I need to get the music out to you, the public, I also need to work with press, bloggers, playlist curators, all of which have lead times. You can't just dump it on their lap the day before and expect some coverage. So it all takes planning. So every week I set myself some tasks and then I report back. So last week's task was I was going to get all the information I needed to create a schedule so that I knew exactly what I was doing step by step, day by day, in order to fulfill everything I need to do to get this release out on Friday the 25th of September. One of the things that I've always referred to, especially when I'm teaching or telling any artists I've worked with who, when they're starting out, is to have a look at Ariel Hyatt and her cyber PR company. She has an amazing amount of expertise and experience, and also her website is just chock full of that same expertise and experience. And I mean, there's almost too much stuff up there. You could spend hours up there and it's all golden. So I've used a lot of what she has to say in the past when I've been talking to other students, and I've revisited it now, and it's still all absolutely golden. She's currently offering a labs series, which I thoroughly recommend, and the first part of that labs one was free. I think it's still free, so you can have a look at that. And she basically sets out PR for artists, and it's brilliant. And as part of that, she does lots of action sheets and schedules, and I love a good action sheet. So I've downloaded those with a view to helping me get some kind of schedule together. So using Ariel's action sheets, which you can get from her website, thoroughly recommend that you do so. I came up with this so far. It's my 3-month action plan. I just printed out, I'm a visual learner, so I like, to see things, but I've also got my bullet journal and I've stuck it all in there so I can see day by day what I'm doing. And one of the things that Ariel says first of all to do is to create a signature story, also known as a biog or biography. It's that little paragraph or 2 paragraphs or 1-pager that describes who you are as an artist. Now, I am not a journalist. I've written books, but I think they're definitely different. The way that a journalist takes information and tries to portray it for a particular medium, either print or now with blogs. And this whole idea of creating a signature story, basically talking about yourself, is difficult. Where do you start? And Ariel gives lots of hints and tips on what not to do and what to do. And basically what you're trying to do is to create content that journalists can use. You don't want to create work for journalists. They want to go to your stuff and go, right, this is great, I can use this bit, I can use this bit and use this bit. And she's quite honest about it. They will cut and paste what you've written. So you have to write something in there that they can use. And this is difficult. It's like, sitting talking about yourself. It's like, nah, I don't know what to say. So she has a checklist of the questions that she asks her new PR clients. So I took that checklist and I was going to work my way through it, just write answers down. And I was like, oh, God, this is... So I had the genius idea of interviewing myself. So I set the camera up just like this, and I wrote all the questions out, and then I asked the questions out loud to the camera, and then I riffed on answers with the idea of creating lots and lots of content, lots of free-form stuff, real answers, you know, pretending I am talking to someone else. And it worked, and I got a really good, like, 10-15 minutes of answers about what I think about music, and in response to the questions. And the questions she framed are good because they're the bits and pieces that make up a good signature story. I then took the audio from that and used a online transcription service called Rev.com, and they charge $1.25 a recorded minute to transcribe it into a Word document, which I did. So for $14, I got a transcript of my words, and that's great because then I've got Ariel's questions and I've got loads of answers and I've got the transcript, so then I could cut and paste it all together and write some extra little bits and pieces to create my signature story. The second part of what I had to do as part of this schedule is then to create an EPK, electronic press kit. Back in the day, pre-1990, whenever it was the internet, bands would send out a press kit, printed photographs and a one-page bio, like signature sheet. Now we're online, so you have an EPK, and various schools of thought, and you can Google around and find out what people say. But for me, it's like, you know, just having all the assets, photographs, videos, signature story, tweets, biogs, links to social media, all in one place so journalists can find them and use them easily. You know, you don't want to create work for journalists. You don't want to have them, you know, scouring the internet or asking you to email them more information. If they're interested and they've got a deadline, it's like, okay, where do I go to get what I need? So I just thought, well, I'll just stick everything on my website.
So down here in the corner, I'm in the computer. I'm just going to show you what I've done for the EPK. So here it is. It's not in the menu of my website, but I will put the link in any communications I have when I'm dealing with people on Hype Machine or through Submit Hub. And as you can see, it's simple. It's just the information that people will want to know. So I was able to put links into what little I have on Spotify at the moment, and my SoundCloud, my biography, which I wrote using my interview technique from Ariel Hyatt, all the links, and finally I created a PDF of this EPK so that a journalist doesn't have to come back to my website. She can go here once and she can download this PDF and still have all the information she needs.
So having created a schedule and then given myself a shed load of tasks to complete following that schedule, my next task is to create a hit list of the blogs, Spotify playlist curators, print magazines, journalists, and everybody else I want to reach out to inform them that my single's coming out on the 25th of September. The accepted way of doing this is to go to a site called Hype Machine, which is a curated list of all the blogs on the interwebs. It's a known resource. It's great. They take donations if you feel like donating to them, and I have in the past because it is so useful. It's good just to find new music, basically. That's what they do, but they have this curated list of blogs. And the time-honoured way of, you know, finding blogs that might cover your music is to just type in an artist into the search bar, see what blogs come up, check on the contact details for them, and then enter this into a spreadsheet or other record keeping mechanism so you've got an idea, and then you find out their submission protocols, what they do accept, what they don't expect. As you can see, it's a lot of work, but it's worth doing. So I've got a day scheduled this coming week to do that. And as part of researching that about some of the best practice for using Hype Machine and the best practice for approaching blogs, I stumbled across this site called Passive Promotion by an artist called Brian Hazard. Now, Brian records under the name of Colour Theory, His genre is synthwave. He also creates his cracking playlist, which is all synthwave, new synthwave stuff. So if you like synthwave, which I do, it was a double pleasure. And his passive promotion blog is about him and all the methods he uses to promote his own music, his colour theory music. And it's fantastic, really, really in depth. It's another real labour of love. There's all these jewels I'm finding are fantastic. And as part of his blog, Brian did a review or update review of a service called Submit Hub. Now, Submit Hub is an attempt to take away some of the drudgery of submitting to blogs. Drudgery, there's no drudgery. You contact people for press, but it is recognised that a good, serious blog has lots of people trying to contact it, and so Submit Hub has positioned itself to kind of alleviate the strain on both people like me, artists trying to get hold of blogs, but also for blogs and Spotify playlist creators who are suddenly inundated with music that just is not appropriate to what they are curating or blogging about. Now, reading around, and you can Google it, Submit Hub has been viewed with suspicion and was accused of being a bit spammy and scammy. And Brian's article on passive promotion is an interview with the owner of Submit Hub, and it seems to be that they've put measures and checks in place, and to the best of their ability it is bona fide. You will find when you start researching blogs using Hype Machine, and you find a blog that you like and you think, I'm going to submit to it, you will find a submit via Submit Hub button. So a lot of the blogs obviously do think it's a good way of filtering out inappropriate submissions they get. Submit Hub costs money, and that's how it works. So you pay as an artist, and blogs receive money for replying and reviewing. And I won't go into all the details now, you should check it out yourself. So as part of my task this week, yes, I am working my way through Hype Machine and getting a hit list together, and 2, going on to Submit Hub and getting a hit list there together and figuring out how much money I can allocate to this to then submit my music to the blogs and Spotify playlists that are appropriate. So that's quite a lot of work to do. I've got one day scheduled for that, as well as a load of other stuff. So I'll be cracking on, and obviously I will report back next week. So I hope you have a good week, and I hope you enjoy my vlog and my attempts to get my music career off the ground. And if you do, then please could you subscribe by clicking or tapping the link, and you can see the other videos in this series by clicking or tapping that little square there. So yeah, have a good week, and I will see you soon.